If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
Welcome in. It's Monday Night Live at High Tops. I like it better when I can do it twice. It makes it way better. Nobody's ever going to know I screwed it up the first time, which is a neat thing.
You're on Ustream.
All right.
Yeah,
right,
plus
fair.
dude. Just like Photoshop, you know, like we take your pictures and we have to Photoshop everything. No one will ever know.
Well, they usually put a better looking person on my...
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
gotta
use a lot of Photoshop for Glenn.
Right. Glenn Clark, Luke Jones, Brendan Ayanbadejo with you. We are out here at High Tops and Timonium, Rockstar Service, great food.
Yeah!
How is bye week? Let's just start with that. What is bye week for you now at your advanced age, Brendan Ayanbadejo, in comparison to, say, bye week when you were a younger man?
Well, I think the main difference is just with the Ravens. In the past, we'd work to maybe Wednesday or Thursday, and now we built a long-lasting relationship with Coach Harbaugh. He trusts us in what we're going to do with our time off. That we're gonna work out, we're gonna eat right, and we're gonna do the right things. And it also helps to be 3-1 going into a bye and beating a big-time rival. So he gave us off since Monday. So this week was like no other bye week I've ever had. I've been off since Monday. 7 days off. It's actually 6 full days off. So I went home to Florida, relaxed, had fun in the sun, hung out with the family, and came back refreshed, and we had a very intense practice today.
What can you possibly do with all that time? I mean, really? You can play with your dogs. I mean, what can you possibly do? I guess the old thing is you don't want to give football players too much time because a lot of them will use it the wrong way. How do you use that time the right way?
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is the whole trust factor. Coach trusts us, and when the team is all together, we work long hours, and then we have all kinds of meetings, even on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We still have meetings all the way up until game day. You want the whole unit. You want everybody together because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't have any control when we're on our own. So to have a full 6 days off, it takes a lot of trust. So, people abuse that, and nothing went wrong with our team. Everybody was back here. Everybody was on time. We had team pictures today, and then we had a very intense practice. So Coach Harbaugh trusts us, and everybody did the right thing. So it worked out good. So now we just got to go get a W, and we'll be 4-0 coming off byes with Coach Harbaugh.
Nobody showed up looking a little bit more like me, looking like they had put on a couple extra pounds during the time off.
I think I put on about 10 pounds. I was eating all kinds of candy, pizza, Mexican food. I was Mexican in the past life, actually.
Really?
Oh, sí, muy bien. Me gusta comer de México.
What's the Mexican? Wow, I don't even know what he just said.
For example.
I said, of course.
Oh, okay.
I think. It's been a few years.
What's the Mexican food of choice?
Man, anything with rice and beans. So it could be steak, any corn tortillas, fajitas, chicken, steak, rice, beans, cheese, salsa.
This is what's unfair. You guys can eat all that and get away with it because you're going to go lift and work out and do the things you're supposed to do with your day. I sit behind a microphone for 4 hours, so when I eat like that, I end up looking like me. That's the problem.
If you eat really good Mexican, it only takes about an hour to get through your system. So it's like you're breaking even.
Right. And your family appreciates it, too.
You're breaking even and you're breaking wind, often.
No doubt about it. He is Brendan Ayanbadejo. He joins us every Monday night for Monday Night Live. Okay, so did you do anything? Did you go parasailing? Did you anything?
Man, I did absolutely nothing. It felt so good to not be on a schedule because usually about 35 weeks out of my year, I have a tight itinerary. I can tell you exactly where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be doing, at least until January, the first week of January. I can tell you right now.
You mean the first week of February?
The first week of January, I can guarantee you where I'm going to be at.
Okay.
We might have a bye week. We might not have a bye week. It just depends where we're going to be. But I can, up until the first week of January, I can guarantee you where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be doing, and all that stuff. So it felt good to not have any agenda, to not be doing anything, to wake up when I wanted to wake up, not have to take no kids to school, not I even let the dogs stay in the crate a little bit longer.
Look at you.
They wanted to get out of the crate. They were barking and screaming, but I just slept through the horror. So yeah, it felt good to do absolutely nothing. I went to the movies. I hung out
What'd you
in Florida.
see?
I saw Real Steel, which was good.
Was it?
Yeah, it was good. The little robot movie. My daughter loved it.
I'll save this because I'll let Nestor tell you about it. Hugh Jackman came and sat with us at the Super Bowl last year, and he'll tell you all about that because his wife, I think, her heart is somewhere still with Hugh Jackman at this moment.
Oh yeah, I mean he's a big, good-looking guy. He's about 6'4", 6'5", ripped with abs and stuff.
You ever thought about becoming an actor? Is that something that you could do?
Nah, not really. Probably not. I mean, it's a skill I totally respect, so I'd have to go to school and study and do all that. You don't have to be a thespian.
Right.
I'd be a thespian, not an actor.
Yeah,
so,
a thespian, sure.
Yeah, so I'd have to. I mean, Sizzle does movies and stuff like that, and he does little cameos in his movies and stuff. He's like, "Yeah, you got to do a cameo in one of my movies." I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do a cameo." Non-speaking roles, Something with my shirt off for sure.
Yeah, of course, no doubt.
Would be
Slow
off.
motion.
Why wouldn't it be?
All right, finally, and I'll let Luke get in here because I know he's got 600 questions for
Is
you.
Luke here?
I know, right?
I am still here, Glenn.
Who is Luke? Luke Skywalker? No, I didn't see that movie.
Right, I'm more important. That's the important part here. For you personally,
Thanks,
you
BA.
personally,
I like that.
look, I get it. The whole team's banged up, so the bye week came at a good time given the number of injuries for the team. But for you personally, was the bye week too early this season? I mean, would you have liked to have been?
I mean, sure, I would have loved the bye week to come week 9. Ideally, that's, even later, but that's not what we're dealing with. If you look at our schedule, though, we do have a good schedule, so it was a good time for the bye week to come. We have a lot of depth, so in the big scheme of things, guys got healthier. It's probably going to help us more now to have the bye week now with the guys that we have dinged up in the positions that they're in than to have it later, So the guys missed a week off instead of missing a game.
Right.
We had the bye week later, so I think it worked out for us, and with our schedule, everything looks pretty good, so it worked out good for us this year.
Now, be honest, BA. Obviously, guys say, oh, we want to get away from football for a week. Realistically, how much do you still think about football? How much are you still looking at the playbook? Be honest.
The only football I saw was whatever football was on TV.
Really?
So
Okay.
I watched, I didn't even watch football yesterday because I traveled, but I did watch the first quarter of the game last night. And I did watch the Titans Steeler game, just turned it off after the first quarter.
Yeah,
too.
that's about all you have to
Once
see,
they went
right?
up 14-0, I was like, forget about it. But yeah, and then I watched the first quarter of the game last night as well, and that game went 14-0, and I turned it off as well. But last night's game ended up being a good game, but the Titans game, I texted all my boys on the Titans. I said, all I wanted was a little bit of help. And they're like, sorry, we couldn't give you anything yesterday, so it is what it is. But yeah, I didn't really think about football at all while I was gone. Too busy with the family and just enjoying being off. It was actually good because everybody else is playing. You can see everybody else a little bit. And you're recovering. Everyone else is beating themselves up and whatnot. So
kind of laughing at
it was
them, right?
enjoyable.
Yeah.
I had a good time. I'm glad to be back, but I had a good time.
How's UCLA doing, by the way?
No, I don't want to talk about that.
Next question.
Don't want to talk about it.
Andrew Luck's pretty good. He's a pretty good player.
He's a NFL caliber quarterback. So
Yeah. That's the end of that. We can move on from there.
we can move on to.
Moving right
I prefer to talk, about those kinds of things with Nestor. Someone a little bit more mature that can handle that type of conversation.
Yeah, this is why I told Ed Dixon it wouldn't bother me if he didn't come back this week. I'll handle that with you. I'm glad he never got back to you.
Well, where did you go to school at?
The University of Maryland. Let's move on from there.
And a few other places.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we both went to basketball schools.
Correct. Correct. We just haven't won 20 national championships at Maryland in basketball. That's the difference.
But my school also has the most national championships in any sport collectively.
Yeah, I'm sorry we're not very good at water polo.
It's all right, though. Our golf team's pretty dope. Our
Right.
men's volleyball,
That's
soccer.
a powerhouse.
A lot of good sports.
Curling good?
Underwater basket weaving national champs.
Oh, wow.
10 years in a row.
Didn't you get your degree in that?
Highly intelligent here. An engineering degree, actually.
Did you watch the Texans game? I guess is the million-dollar question. Did you take a look at any of the Texans yesterday? Obviously, do a little advanced scout.
No, but I watched that game today. We watched the first half of the Texans game today, and we watched all their special teams film today.
I think I was talking to Chris Carr earlier today. I said, look, you guys are all football players. You all say the right things. Like, hey, we love to play a team when they're at full strength. You never want to play a team when they got guys missing. Be honest, because nobody's listening. Don't worry about it. This is just us talking now.
Right.
Be honest. It's better to face the Houston Texans without Andre Johnson and Mario Williams, correct?
Oh, certainly it's better to play them like that. But, you don't want any excuses at the end of the day because, for Joe, beating the Steelers wasn't good enough. He had to beat the Steelers when Ben was playing. So
Right.
all you heard this year is that, Joe hasn't beat Big Ben yet and blah, 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 And so for Joe, he wanted Ben to play this year, obviously, so he could get that win. So, it just depends who you ask. But, yeah, you don't really want to play a team when they're on full, all cylinders and full strength. Of course, you love to play when they're hobbling and nicked up. It's going to be an easier game for you. So, but at the end of the day, if you're trying to be a great team, you got to beat a team when they're at full strength. And it means a lot more.
Does Harbaugh's message change at all, or the tone a little bit when you have a team? I mean, you guys are well aware, Andre Johnson, Mario Williams, two dynamic players. When they're not going to play, do you get a little more coach speak or a little more of the coaching up that, hey, we can't overlook this team, you don't want to be complacent?
No, you still attack them the same way. Two of their best players are down, but our whole thing is just having the best Monday that we can possibly have. We went out there and had a really physical practice, one of the hardest practices that we've had since training camp. So it's not one of those things where we're going to let down just because two of their best players. No, we're going to play as hard as we can, play harder.
It's funny.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.